And I know everyone's been asking me about, man, if you got this person saying this person saying that. Let me make sure. I want to be very clear. I never want that to change. I never want the agony of defeat and the thrill of victory to ever change. That's what makes this program so great. Is the fan base, is Tiger Nation, and the tremendous, which I think the best fan base in the country. So never change, never change ever. Criticize me, be on me, get on this person, get on that, be disappointed in losses, love every win. That's what makes this program so great. So that's first and foremost with that. Couple things. I'm very proud of our young men. We had they did a lot of good. Our young men, both on the court and off the court. Obviously I've gone through the academic side of stuff, which I'm very proud of being able to be back-to-back Final Fours in the Journal of Higher Education, and they did a lot of good in the community as well too, which I'm very, very proud of. We made a lot of strides and progress from one year to the next, with us winning Old Spice this year, sweeping Louisville, winning 5 top 25 games, being in the AP top 25 all year long in the regular season from week 1 to the end of the regular season. Again, making it to the NCAA tournament. Obviously a game short of getting to the second weekend, but there's only been 15 teams that the last 4 years have made the NCAA tournament 4 straight years, and we're one of 15. So again, as I like to say, it's not a birthright to do that, and only 15 teams in the United States of America out of 361 in Division I basketball have made 4 straight NCAA tournaments, dating back to the 2011-12 season, or 2000. What is that? Yeah, 11-12, 10-11. The first, 10-11. So, so proud of that. However, I'm not satisfied how we ended the year. That is for sure. I'm not satisfied whatsoever in how we ended the year. Our goals, my goal, our goals is to win as many games as we can. Our goals is to put ourselves in a position to make it to the NCAA tournament, and our goal is obviously to advance in the NCAA tournament. And there are some things that we have to get better at. There's no question about that. We've got to be better defensively. I was disappointed in our defensive, overall defensively. And with some of these disappointments that I have, take full responsibility for them. So it's on me. It's not on anybody else. It's not on the players. It's not on the staff. It's not on the support staff. It's not on the fan. It's on me. We've got to be better defensively. That is something that we have to be better about. And we will spend time, and I will really spend a lot of time through the individual workouts, this off-season program, summer program, preseason program, on really cleaning that up. We got to be better defensively. Secondly, I totally misjudged our three-point shooting. That was something that we didn't do as well as I thought we'd be. I misjudged big time on our three-point shooting, and based on the previous year, we were one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. And so I went on that, and I misjudged that with that. I also kind of misjudged on our turnovers. I thought we had too many turnovers from some of the perimeter spots, and I misjudged on that as well, too. Those are 2 areas that I misjudged on based on the beginning of what I thought, based on how we were shooting it and handling the ball in the summer and in the preseason. And based on what we did last year, I misjudged in those 2 areas. And the other thing is that we got to be better at is we got punched in the mouth a couple times, and we got punched in the mouth and we responded and came back to win. But we've also got punched in the mouth and it went south on us. And I've got to evaluate, why was that? And that will be part of it, which I believe we've got to be better defensively. So when we're not scoring, are making the shots, it doesn't go south on us like that. And that will be, really worked on through the individual workouts, team workouts, off-season program, summer program, preseason program. Obviously, who I hire in that strength department will help. Will be a component of that. So I think all that goes hand in hand, but that will be something that I'll be able to reflect on and see where can we get better in those areas. But I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to see those areas. I'm excited to see where we can continue to improve. And I think those are some things that we've got to get better at. And I take full responsibility for that. And we've been a very good half-court team under my direction here. We weren't a really good half-court team this year, as well as I would like us to be, and obviously, so we'll look at that. And I did do some changes at the beginning of the year. I taught differently than I had in any of my 4 years as a head coach previous, due to the fact of the new rules with the officiating. I taught differently. We changed on some of the things that we taught. We changed on some of the things that and I'm not making any excuses. I'm just telling you, these are things I have to evaluate. Based on what was told, I changed on some of the things that we did and how we taught and how we guarded some things. And I know some other programs where the head coach had told me, and they're very good defensively, told me they didn't change one thing. And so that will be something that I'll have to look at. Do I go back to the original way that was where we were, much better defensively and to those type of teachings? But those are things I will evaluate and really focus in on that. So the program is I can assure you this is as healthy as it's ever been. We got good players coming in. We're recruiting at a very, very high level. Guys are academically, like I said, graduating at a record pace, and image-wise, the university is, I think, both nationally is the highest level it's been, which I'm very proud of, and like I said, there's only 15 teams that have been to the NCAA tournament the last 4 years in a row, and we're one of those 15.
Coach, why do you think you didn't make those defensive adjustments maybe year to year? I guess why do you think it didn't work at some point?
Yeah, I really think, Grant, that after the Oklahoma State game, and I can assure you this, when we in the preseason practices, we were scoring at times 100 and some odd points. I mean, we were shooting the ball. I mean, I had NBA scouts come through and said, "You guys are the best shooting team we've seen in a long time, and in a long, long time." And so I think that for us, I thought, man, we're going to offensively be such at a fire, at being able to fire that sucker in at such a high level, and then we were pressing, and then and so I think after the Oklahoma State game, when we got our butts kicked, I really went to focus. I spent a lot of time on offense, and I said, okay, we got to clean some things up offensively. When I was talking about course correction, and that was really that was a big thing, and so I think that was a big area in that, and we just got to get back to the things through the summer program, individual workouts, preseason, off-season. I think that's got to be an area of focus. Has to be on the defensive end. That's got to be an area of focus. I do want to say this, because I don't get an opportunity to do this, and I know everyone knows with his health. I want to just say how lucky we are that George Liefus is as good of a gentleman as you'll find, and it's an honor and privilege, George, because you're here. I want to let you know it's been an honor and privilege for me to call you a friend and all that you've done for Memphis. So,
what a pleasure it is for me to be here.
Yeah. So I wanted to say it's an honor and privilege for you to be here. Yep, and it's an honor and privilege all mine to call you a friend. So,
Josh, if you had to do it all over again, knowing what you know, what would you have done differently this year, knowing now what you know as the season's over?
You know what, Mike, I mean, obviously it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback, even for a coach, even for yourself. I think the big thing is, well, one, I totally misjudged on the 3-point shooting. That was something I just misjudged on. I didn't see that coming. That caught me totally off guard. And if anyone understood how we were shooting it in practice and based on the last season, you would have done the same thing I would have been saying about, man, we're just going to absolutely be one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the entire country, maybe the best ever in the history of Memphis. I believe that. That didn't work out. And then I wouldn't have abandoned I wouldn't do anything differently with the press, because the press has actually helped us win some games. Even though maybe it was a possession here, a possession there, even though we spent a lot of time on it, what I would have probably done differently if I could have, I would have probably and we spent time on the half court, but I would have I would have maybe not have done as much on the press all summer and done more maybe in the half court in the summer more than just the full press. But I really think it comes down to, I really misjudged our 3-point shooting. And like I said, defensively, we have to be better. And that's something that, one, do I just forget the teachings as in terms of changing the teachings, what I did at the beginning of the season? Because we taught differently based on the new rules. And I will probably, I'll have to really evaluate that. And that will be something that I'll really look at through all the programs of like I said, individual workouts and everything else. The other thing I think will help us, I'm going to take a foreign tour with the team this summer in the end of August. So since we'll be a younger team and a newer team, we'll take a foreign tour and be able to have 10 practices plus games, good competition games. I'll be able to get a good feel from our guys then too in some areas much earlier on what our strengths and weaknesses are, and then from there in October really focus on those areas.
Josh, what do you want the identity of this team to be next year and moving forward? And can you change an identity of the team if you need to change it?
Yeah, Greg. I think we've established we're a very good team moving the ball. I mean, we've been back-to-back years, third in total assist, and that's very important to me. A number of made field goals assisted, so that's important to me. I think we need to get back to. We've improved in the areas of rebounding through our time here, but I think we need to get back to having a really good defensive mindset, and we have the potential next year to be very, very good rebounding wise, offensively and defensively. And so I think the mindset next year, the identity next year, Greg's got to be, from the defensive end, because that was an area of weakness of ours this year, if not a strength of ours. And we've got to be better in that area. And I think that will help us then, again, when you lose a game and you're not shooting well, instead of spiraling down south, you keep it in a situation where you maybe 2 minutes to go, you still got a chance to win the game, and then whatever happens, you just couldn't pull it out.
Josh, back to your 3-point shooting, Josh. What do you think happened? You had Joe Jackson was a 44% 3-point shooter, went to 27. Crawford's numbers decreased quite a bit. What do you think is the reason?
How about Jaron Johnson's numbers? He was 35%. Even, here's the thing, in 3-point shooting, all you have to shoot is 33% to equal 50% from the field from twos, which is, when you're shooting 50% from twos, that's a heck of a percentage. So if you just shoot 33% from three, and so we were so below that from our normal averages until later part in the year did Chris and Michael at least help their averages, and move them up a little bit. I don't know why that is, because we got open shots, and I don't have an explanation. I mean, because we worked on the shooting, we spent a lot of time. Jaron Johnson's an absolute gym rat. Joe Jackson is a gym rat. Michael Dixon's a gym rat. Chris Crawford became a gym rat in his senior year. And so it wasn't a situation where they didn't put the time and energy to work on the shots. They got good open looks, and it was just I just totally misjudged us on our 3-point shooting. I thought we were going to be one of just the absolute best 3-point shooting teams in the country, and maybe the best here at Memphis. I really believe that, because one of the best at Memphis, if not the best, was my first year. And I thought we were going to be just tremendous at that, and that was not an area of strength of ours. Even though we hit a couple big threes to win us games, but the overall of it was just something that, and I just think, we spend time on it. I mean, we shoot every day in practice. It was just one of those things where you just, you couldn't put your pulse on it. Where defensively, I could see exactly what we need to correct. 3-point shooting, it's just probably a lot of it's a confidence thing. When things weren't going, you could almost play tricks with the guy's mind. And as a coach, you can't sit there and tell them, hey guys, you can't shoot the ball. You can't shoot, because that would just obviously demolish their confidence. So it's a very defined balancing act with shooting.
Josh, you didn't really have anybody or a couple of guys that stepped up to the point offensively, whether it was a clear number one, number two pecking order. First question is, do you think that ultimately hurts you this year? And secondly, do you believe that's a good thing? Is it necessary? Do you need to have that next year where everybody on the team knows this is our one option, this is our second option?
Well, good question. I think next year, I think everyone understands that going into the year, our front court, has an opportunity. We've got to establish our front court presence immediately, and we got to play through our front court. I think you look at our some of our strength coming back is with those guys. So there's no doubt about that. I don't think we had a guy where you could just say he's number one, number two. I think we had good balance for the most part. I just think I think next year it'll be easily defined because of what's returning, and that will be allowed with our front court guys, especially with guys like Austin and Shaq, who've established themselves to be good scorers for us. And it doesn't even mean they have to score for us, just to play through the post. That's going to be important. And later part of the year, we need to have Shaq play better. He didn't play well the last few weeks of the year, and we need Shaq. I mean, Joe didn't play as well as we wanted Joe to play the latter part of the year, and those are our two all-conference guys. And so I have to evaluate, was it something did we not condition well enough? What can we do to help guys like Joe and Shaq, even though Joe's moving on, but like that last part of that stretch, we've got to have that even a higher level of consistency, moving forward, because those two guys were our all-conference. Joe was a first-team all guy in different things. I know he was second team within the league, but first team in a lot of the NABC deal, and Shaq was a second team unanimous throughout.
Josh, when you lose 6 seniors, what about the rest?
7 seniors, because you lose Hip. I'm including Hip as well too, and Trey. Yeah.
When you lose those 7 guys, but of the roster of guys that are supposed to come back, how does things stand with Dom? How do things stand with Karan? Some of the guys that either had issues, or how does the roster shake out as you sit here today?
Well, let me say this, because a lot of people ask about playing time. First of all, playing time is to be earned. And anyone knows me that no one is ever bigger than this program. That includes myself. That includes my coaches. That includes the players. Nobody is ever bigger than this program. And so some people have asked, well, why didn't this guy play? Everything has to be earned. Nothing's going to be given to you. I've never promised anyone anything in recruiting. I've never promised a minute nor a starting spot. And I will, as long as I coach, I will not do that. So everything has to be earned. And I expect everybody to be back. Now everybody's got to do their job. And that's just not on the court. That's in all areas. And if they do their job in all areas, I expect everyone to back. And if somebody's wants to try to buck the system and not have 2 feet in, then this caravan moves forward and you'll get left behind.
Could you add somebody? Or is this
Absolutely, we could. We will be actively recruiting players, and we're always recruiting. So we're actively recruiting, including not only for obviously the future for the 15 class and the 16 class and beyond, but also immediately for the 14 class. And let me just say this: I thought Karan had his best week since he's been here. The final week this week, he was really good in everything, including in practice and everything else. And I thought when he got in the game, He showed a lot of really good signs. And I was I thought Karan had a great week. And even though he didn't play a lot, obviously, in that game, but when he got in, I thought he produced.
What's the latest with Dom?
What's the latest with Dom? I mean, Dom is he and I will have a talk, and Dom knows what he needs to do. And I love Dominique Woodson. I think he's got I've said this many times. I love him dearly. He's my guy. I'm 2 feet in with Dom, and I can see greatness in Dominique. On the other hand, Dominique has to have 2 feet in here at all times, and that's on and off the floor. And if he has buy-in, he can be a monster for us. I'm just telling you, he can be a monster for us. He can be as good as he wants to be. If he doesn't have buy-in and tries to buck the system, he probably won't be here. So it's not going to be my decision. It's going to be Dom's decision, and I'm leaving it up to Dom to understand that he's got to do what he needs to do to get the job done. And I believe in him to get the job done. I'm just telling you right now, he's got a lot of tools. He's got a lot of God-given ability, and he can be. And this is, and Dom's over there now, and this is nothing. I've told this to him to his face, so this is nothing that he doesn't know. He knows how good I think he can be, and his teammates understand that too. The whole key for Dom is between the ears. If he's locked in and keeps doing right, all between the ears for Dom, he can be a very, very good player for this program. Very, very good player.
Your staff changes quite often since you've been there. Any anticipation of any movement in the staff?
I got great assistant coaches. I love my guys. I never want to hold anyone back, and they're going to have. I'm always, they obviously want to be head coaches, so I'm always want to give them the opportunity. I'm going to always fight for them to be a head coach, and so obviously if they have an opportunity to be a head coach somewhere, then obviously they'll take that opportunity. But right now everyone's here, and everything's intact.
Are you looking to bring in, when you said you're going to evaluate what you're going to do with conditioning, strength, and all that, somebody who's going to go back to weights and get bigger and stronger?
I'm going to, on who I hire, I'm going to work directly with Tom Bowen, my athletic director, and my deputy AD, Ren Baker. I will work directly with those two and who I hire. And I want to, whoever, that's a component of, we need to get, again, I'm not putting all on that guy or on that position or that person in that position, because it could be anyone, it could be male or female who we hire, that I'm going to give them the ability to, hey, this is what I want done. This is what needs to be done. This is the areas of growth that we need to have growth in. So get the job done on how, so we're going to hire the right person for that, and whatever they feels best to get us to the point where we need to get, and that's, mentally and physically stronger and tougher and be in the best condition that we can be in, and however they feel that we need to get that they need to get the job done. But I will work directly with, like I said, Tom Bowen, my bosses, and Ren Baker, my boss, to hire the right person in that job.
It's not uncommon with both basketball and football for coaches to maybe go spend some time with another coach and just kind of get another look at how they do things. How much, if at all, have you done that in the past, and will you look to do anything like that in the future?
I've done it every single year. I've spent time every single year after every season with other coaches. I spent a lot of time with other coaches.
Can you say who, any of them?
Yeah, I've spent, not to get into names, but for example, this past year I spent time on studying the press, for example. I studied it over and over and over with different coaches. I really studied with Vance Wahlberg as well too, but just with different coaches. The year before, I did some things with some other coaches. I don't want to say names because I don't want to put them I don't know if they get upset if I say a certain name that, because some coach says, please don't tell anyone that I'm giving you this, but because, they're not supposed to give it to me. But anyway, as in terms of if they're an assistant coach even, because I want to learn their system that they're in from their head coach. And so I don't want to throw anyone off the bus on that. But I will do that. I will continue, because I believe in continuing of education. And I'm a better coach today in year 5 than I was in year 1, and I want to be a better coach in year 10 than I was in year 5. And the only way to do that is to continue to educate yourself and grow. And the only way to continue to educate and grow is to continue to learn from others. And so I would be absolutely, totally off base if I said, hey, I'm not going to learn from, I'm going to continue to go learn, and especially some things that I want to pick up from some different coaches. So I love to get new ideas, to learn, to improve, and I'm excited about doing that this off season and summer.
Have you done any, or would you like to do any kind of cross sport? Like I know Lionel Hollins went and spent time with Nick Saban.
Yeah, I mean, I study a lot of other coaches, even if it's via, reading books and or, watching stuff and listening to them to speak, watching different things. But, again, obviously time, you have to have the time to do it, because I want to really pick, there's a couple coaches I know that I want to go talk to, really pick their minds on some certain things. And then obviously, we've got our team I've got to focus on as well too, plus recruiting. So I'm going to first probably look at some different things, basketball-wise, or some coaches within the industry. But I have wanted to look at some other guys. I've talked to people close to some different football coaches that I wanted to at least just pick their brain about, and I'll probably end up doing that this offseason.
Josh, while you know that hindsight's 20/20, you mentioned that, and you mentioned that the three-point shooting caught you
Yep.
by surprise. If you had to do it all over again, you said all year long, one of your mantras was, we're going to live and die with these 4 senior guards. And now that the season's over, is that something that you wish you maybe would have changed as well?
Well, I mean, it's to say that today, yeah, you can say that today, but I would not have changed it. If you saw what I saw, and based on what was coming back, and I would not have, I would not change that one bit. Now today, based on, like I said, I've misjudged our 3-point shooting, but I wouldn't change that. I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on those guys, and that I believe that those guys can get us a lot of wins due to their ability to score and shoot the ball. And I, even during the middle part of the year, I just had thought that it was going to click. It was going to just, we're going to get on fire. And it just never happened. So I own it. I live with it. I take full responsibility. I wouldn't change it, because based on what I saw and what I knew, I felt it was going to happen, and it just didn't. So I got to take full responsibility. But again, I say that to say this, that, we've made a lot, we also won a lot of games. We made a lot of strides. There's only 15 teams that have been to 4 straight NCAA tournaments in the last 4 years, and we're one of the 15. And there's 361 Division I teams, and only 15 can say that. So they've helped us win. Those guards also helped us win some good games, and it was important for us to be in the top 25 all year. I mean, look, the last couple of years we were in the top 25. We dropped out and then got back in. At least this year we were in it. We didn't have any drop and then have to win a couple more to get back in. We were in it the whole time, and that was important for me too, just for consistency for the most part. I think the big thing though is we've got to. I know I've hit on the defense and the 3-point shooting. We've got to be better about not letting, when we get punched in the mouth, things going south. That just can't happen. We've got to be better in that area, and those are something that I've got to really evaluate on why did that happen?
The last question not mentioned is Nick King. Talk about his upside, what you hope to get from him.
Yeah, no, Nick had a very, very good year, but I kind of hit it on everybody. Playing time is not given. I will not give playing time. I will not promise anybody anything. I don't believe in that. It's earned. And Nick, through his work ethic and through time, he earned it. I mean, he got in the second half of the season, he was in the rotation. Nick's got a chance to be very, very good for us. And Nick, one thing Nick does is you can count on is the guy competes every second. He's on the dean's list. He's a 4.0 student, and he flat out competes. And he wins 50-50 balls. He rebounds. He leaves everything you have on the floor. You win a lot of games with guys like Nick King. So Nick's going to be an integral, important, huge piece for us next year. And that's where I go back to that front court, because I think Nick can play different spots on the floor. But you're talking, with Austin and Shaq and Nick and those guys. And I love what I saw with Karan at the end there. We've got a chance to to do a lot of good stuff.